All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Had a little bit of a restream issue today. I am doing restreams. I'm both on YouTube and Twitch right now. Kind of testing restream a bit. I had a connection issue where it wasn't picking up Twitch chat, and still doesn't seem to be picking up Twitch chat, which is interesting. It's it sees it, but it can't relay it, which is interesting. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Although I was talking to another content creator. I was talking to another content creator just the other day, and they were telling me an alternate way of doing this that sounds a little less memory intensive. So I may switch methods on how to dual stream when I do that. Although I don't do the dual stream as much anymore, just because I like to cater to a specific audience when I do. So whether it's a YouTube audience or the Twitch audience. But again, I may still occasionally stream to both, like I am now. Hopefully everybody is doing well. I was on vacation for a few weeks. Started right around Memorial Day, and just recently got back. But also got back and took some time to myself, hung out with my wife and all that good stuff, and had a lot of fun. Didn't want to come back to the gaming stuff right away. But now I'm back and excited to get back to some Star Citizen stuff. But either way, Restream seems to be working good for me now. Generally, I like it because it's just so lightweight and does what it does really well. So I really like it. But I heard there's like an ad hoc workaround that you can do to where you can eliminate Restream and still get some of the same crossover stuff. So I may try that. Okay, can everyone hear me? Doing an audio test. I gotta tell my camera where it's back. Tell my camera where to plug in at. Can everyone at least hear me though? Can you hear me? It's okay. Don't worry about the camera. Just getting it set up. Let me know if you can hear me. If you would. Got to relaunch NVIDIA real quick here because it likes to be a little weird sometimes. Just a minute. Okay. Got to quit NVIDIA broadcast and relaunch it. I'm glad I'm testing this right now. Audio test passed. Okay, good. We're tracking well then. We're tracking well. We're tracking well. Okay, stand by. I'll have the camera up in just a second here. Just a second. Okay, we should be good now. We should be good now. So I know exactly what happened. Oops, wait a minute. I disappeared again. Just a minute. Just a minute. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Gonna be good. Should be coming. Camera should be coming back online now. There we go. There we go. I may need to resize it. All right, there we go. Cool. So what happened was so what happened was I know a lot of people had some theories on what just occurred, but what actually occurred was I moved my OBS stream or my OBS Streamlabs thing. I moved it from one monitor to the other monitor, so it went from 4K to 2K. And one of the latest changes with OBS is that they changed, I think, how that in transition happens with resolution. That or it was always there, and I never had the issue. But regardless, whenever I did that, it just hard crashes my machine, so I won't be able to do that anymore. But I will have to solve that problem. I think OBS is kind of garbage software, to be honest with you. OBS and OBS Streamlabs, they're pretty terrible. And the reason they're so terrible is they're overloaded with stuff that we really shouldn't. They're overloaded with so much like terrible features, and you can tell that the software's just been updated and it's never been like really cleaned out. So anyways, if you're watching on YouTube, you're probably seeing a bit of a lag, and you're probably seeing my camera get fixed. If you're on Twitch, you're probably seeing things hopefully fixed at this point. Okay, I'm just getting music turned back on, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's what happens if I switch OBS from one monitor to the other monitor. It kind of like freaks out for a minute. How's everybody doing though? I'm going to switch one of my lights on and off. All right, there we go. How is everybody doing? How is your Memorial Day and beginning of June? How was your Alien Week? All that good stuff. Let me know. And yes, Twitch is having trouble right now with their chat services. I can see that. Yes, Kavotha, 100%. OBS needs a complete rebuild. It's garbage in a lot of ways, actually. Its chroma key stuff is completely terrible and always has been. And I just find a lot of issues with it. There's a lot of stuff they could do way, way better. Okay, Solomon, we got a lot of people piling into chat now, so hope you're all well. Sorry about that technical issue at the front, but that's what I get for switching windows. All right, I am moving a few things around here. So Restream is once again picking up YouTube, not picking up Twitch. And I think it's because Twitch chat is having some issues. But that's okay. We're still going to be able to rock and roll this. Let me just make sure everyone's seeing everything properly. YouTube, are you seeing me now? Camera working? Audio working? Hopefully so. Okay, and let me pull up one more window here. So I thought today we would kind of say hello to each other again, kind of tell everyone I am back. and we talk about a few things. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay, I think I have all my windows up. So mainly I was going to talk about Alien Week for a little bit, and then talk about a little bit about the Hull C. They just had that new Inside Star Citizen. I think it was called Santokial. I'm not sure who all watched that, but it was kind of interesting. They talked about the Santoki, where that is in development. And then they talked about the Hull C, which I guess makes sense. The Hull C has some Xeon tech in it. So I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on the Hull C, so I thought we'd discuss those. Okay, YouTube says everything's working fine. Okay. Thank you, Mongo Captain Phenom. Appreciate it, everybody, for letting me know YouTube is working good, and then Twitch seems to be... So, okay, so everything seems to be working now, which is good. I'm just going to check one more thing here, if everyone just bears with me. Okay, and actually Twitch chat is finally connecting too. It's just on a little bit of a lag. All right, cool. So I figured we talk about that for a minute. I was going to talk about the RSI roadmap for a minute. I was going to talk about the Tumbrel Storm, the Q&A for that, which came out. And let's see, Quiltrap says, "Damn, still streaming on both YouTube and Twitch now. Isn't that illegal now?" I don't know. I still see a lot of people doing it. I think I'm too small for anyone to care, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I may have to switch to Twitch anyway, just because there's issues. But I hope you're well, Quatrup. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the follow, low key. I think you just sent. Oh, there goes the javelin. Yep, there it goes. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I need to look at the new TOS. I mean, it was always technically something you weren't supposed to do, but everyone does it, and I didn't really give a shit, to be totally honest with you. But it is what it is, you know. Generally, I do one or the other, though. So, but I've seen a lot of people do talk shows where they'll do it on both. So, yeah, I don't know. I have to look at that. But anyways, let's talk about the Tumbrel Storm. So the Q&A came out for it. Did anyone get a storm? I'm going to switch over to the bottom panel. Did anyone get a storm? Let's see here. You did. Solomon says he did. Mongo says no, they backed down. Gotcha. Okay. So a lot of the standard questions were asked. What vehicles will the Storm fit inside? For those of you that watched my kind of Invictus streamathon or whatever it was called back when Invictus was going on, I was doing a lot of streaming during the day. A lot of what we were doing was seeing what, we were kind of deep diving the Fury and the Storm and seeing what the Storm could fit into. We tested, the Carrack and the Valkyrie. I think we tested the MSR. We tested a bunch of ships with it. Obviously, that was one of the first questions people asked, being a single seat tank. I think people were, this is one of the situations where I think they were pretty curious on what ships it would fit inside. Quiltrip, that's awesome. Congrats. So they said here that the it shares the same garage size as the Tumbrel Nova and the Anvil Atlas platform, so the Spartan and Centurion and stuff like that. This is exactly what I surmised when I was doing the if it fits, it sits sort of things. The Nova, while not as long and tall, or sorry, the Storm, while not as long and tall as the Nova, is still as wide as the Nova, and it's almost perfectly as wide. And I think that is very much on purpose. I think they're trying to limit, where all the Storm can be carried. I think it's an artificial limitation, but it does make some sense. You don't want to be able to pot. It's kind of interesting now, I guess, when they're developing ships and they're trying to figure out what fits inside what, they're trying to also take into account what you can carry, apparently. And they want to make sure you can't carry anything that upsets the I don't know what we would call it. Maybe the, you know, the FPS or damage potential of a particular platform, whether that's a ship with a snub ship inside of it or a ship carrying vehicles in its hangar. I wonder now if they're going to, if they always take into account, you know, that type of stuff. I mean, it's really not going to work for ships like the Kraken and Liberator, where you can carry a lot of different types of vehicles, but, you know. Stratobrek, hello. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. See, Demon, hopefully I'm saying that right. Demon says would still be nice if it fit into a Valk. I don't know if it doesn't fit into a Valk. You might be able to get creative and get it in there. I guess we'll have to really kind of see. It looked to me in the model like aspects of the Storm could pull in a little further than what they had. They had these panels on the exterior of the treads that actually pushed out and stuff, and I don't know if those are always out or if they'll interfere with hydraulics. We'll just need to see. I can say on the Valk it's going to be a very tight fit if it fits at all. Let's see here. The Storm is intended to be a smaller, fast assault vehicle, but so large that currently only fits in vehicles that can transport the Nova tank. Where does it fit in the grand scheme of things? For example, which scenarios? Says here, Storm's dimensions allow it to be carried by many other ships, allowing for greater flexibility in terms of transport and deployment. I agree here what they say, that the two tanks operate in kind of two different domains. I think what we're going to find is that the Storm is really, really fast. I think that's going to be the case. I think they did say it fits in between like the Cyclone and the Atlas platform in regards to speed. So if that's the case, it's going to be pretty fast. I mean, both of those vehicles are pretty quick, to be totally honest with you. Doom says the hydraulics are in the way. Yeah, it looked like the hydraulics are on the way on the Valkyrie when we were testing that. But again, it was within what I call the margin of error, meaning it was right on the edge. So you might be able to sneak it in. Let's see, I'm not going to read every question here, but I did just want to go over a few of these. How fast does the Storm intend to be compared to other ground combat vehicles? It says here, no specifics listed right now. I think that will be tested. We also know that they're undergoing some wheeled vehicle changes right now that I think are going to be coming live for 320. We'll look at the roadmap here in a minute for that, but I know wheeled vehicle changes are coming, which is why they're not getting into that. But they did say they expect the Storm to be faster than the Nova and Atlas series and closer to the Ursa in speed. I mean, I can tell you right now, the Ursa is very fast, especially on low gravity moons and stuff. So, Tom Van Doren, hello there. Salute to you. I hope you are well. Thanks everybody for the follows and hanging out, chilling in chat with us today. I'm just going to be going over a few things for as long as we can. I'm on my lunch break today. Let's see here. What are the vertical plates supported by the struts? Those are these little vertical plates. They're just rule of cool pieces. I knew that from the get-go. They do talk about it having countermeasures. That was a given. Kind of a throwaway question in my opinion. Tactical spec armor, yeah, just marketing phrase again. I think, yeah, it's all pretty standard. The Nova and Centurion has significantly more than it sits between the Nova and Centurion and has significantly more durability than the Ursa. It's good to hear. Let's see here. Stand by. Let's see. As tanks tend to be off-road vehicles, will the low ground clearance of this model limit traversal? I didn't think the Storm had low ground clearance. Let's take a look. Or the Storm. Did I say Ursa? Let's take a look here. Oh, I don't have like a pure frontal view. That's right. Let me go into the side view. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really look like it has like bad ground clearance or anything. Hey, Joey, thanks for catching me live. Really appreciate it. Salute to you all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it has like low ground clearance or anything. Yeah, I don't know. If you look at the bottom of the ground treads here and then see the bottom of the hull, which is right here, I don't know. I think these actuate as well, and they've got hydraulics, so it can help it climb and stuff. So I actually don't think that's going to be an issue. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Let me go back to the storm. Let's see. Can't wait to cram the storm into ships that aren't a C2. Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. All right. Let's see here. Says here, yeah, they say the storm is relatively good ground clearance, especially compared to the Nova, and its design allows for greater arrival departure angles without hitting the hull. And I think too, if you look at the way the treads kind of come up around the front, the treads are the first thing they're going to hit, and they're exposed all the way up around the front here. So even if you're going down steep embankments, the treads are going to hit first and be able to, keep those points of contact on the ground, so you're going to get that traction. Bespoke size 3 weapon have the same upscaled damages for its size, similar to other vehicles with unique weapons. For example, a size 5 Slayer cannon for the Nova has 18,500 alpha damage, while the size 5 ballistic cannons only deal 1,500. So they say here, yes, like the Nova, the size of the weapon doesn't truly follow other systems, given its bespoke nature, allowing for independent tuning. Which puts it at a much higher alpha DPS than the number would normally be. So while this is a size 3 weapon, I think we can all probably expect this size 3 weapon to perform somewhere on the level of maybe a size 5 even. So that's something that's pretty cool to look for. I mean, again, just looking at all the metrics of the Storm, to me, it puts it in a really good place. And I can see the Storm for a single operator combat vehicle being highly effective. Because the thing with the Nova is, and if you've ever played was it War Thunder and games like that, was it War Thunder or is it World of Tanks? World of Tanks is what I'm thinking, which I have played. To get the most out of a 2-person tank or Arma, to get the most out of a tank, you really need 2 people operating on the same like mental wavelength. In terms of just tank positioning, gun positioning, when to stop, when to slow, when to speed up, all those good things, keeping the tank within defilade, all those things. So I think, a 1-person vehicle is going to be a lot easier to deploy ultimately. Does it have any additional ways to fight off small targets? It says no. This is a great note here. They say here is the driver's control of the turret restricted to the area in front of the vehicle, or does it have proper 360-degree rotation? They say proper 360-degree rotation. We're seeing the digital screen right here now. So again, the turret could rotate and our screen can rotate without our body having to rotate. So we're still going to get that full 360-degree rotation, even without the turret seat rotating itself. So it's great to hear. Specs state the Storm is a remote operated turret. Can the Storm fire while in motion, or does it have to stop for the driver to enter a remote turret interface in order to fire? So they say yes, the driver can control the turret while on the move or stationary. So that means the gun operates very similar to how the Ursa gun operates for the driver. This is amazing, and again is another one of those things that's going to make this vehicle punch a little bit above its weight class, because now you're going to be able to fire while on the move, all from a single operator, which again, right away you have that movement and firing completely in sync because it's a single operator instead of having to have a driver and gunner operating that way. Let's see here. Single size 0 power plant seems very underpowered when compared to other vehicles. Will this be sufficient to power not only the vehicle itself but also its shields and autocannon? How do you intend to support this should a single power plant prove to be insufficient in the future? They made a great note here. They said this is something we'll expand on in the future, but the upcoming resource network changes have given us the opportunity to reevaluate sizes and quantities of items aboard all vehicles. So what we're going to see here with resource management is we're going to see a complete overhaul of components, especially in regards to their resources that they're actually able to output and all that kind of good stuff. I think this is also hinting towards the future tinkering we're going to be able to do with subcomponents, right? So we know about components, but they've talked a lot about subcomponents. So, I forget how many it is, but I think within each component, there's like 2 or 3 subcomponents that are in there. Think of these as like little inserts that you can plug into a component that allow you to further boost certain measurements or certain metrics within that component. Hey, what's up, Sten? Sten says everything punches above its weight class in SC, or at least that's what its marketing always claims. True. Yeah. Yeah, it's good marketing speak. Why not? Why not say it? So, if marketing, there's selling ships and then there's being honest with what a ship is and where it fits. And I think the developers take the honesty approach because they're just looking at it from a holistic, where does the ship fit in the verse type thing. And then there's the marketing team whose job it is to sell ships. And, if your job and your raise and your, bonuses and salaries are dictated on how well you do your job, then marketing should be doing their job very well and should be selling ships, which they do. So they use marketing speak and stuff that really ties into that. You see it up here where they say, where there's that note on tactical spec armor right here. They clear that up in the Q&A and say this is just a marketing phrase, has no special behavior in game. That's just marketing speak. And it's hard to get marketing people to not speak that way. I work in marketing, and our entire career is built around terms being used, the right visuals being shown, showing those things in conjunction to get the greatest amount of eyes on. And well, there's something in marketing called call to action, and the call to action for example, like the Tumbrel Storm, I don't have its brochure handy, but the call to action for the Storm is probably peppered with terms, like punching above its weight class and stuff like that. So yeah, Tumbrel Storm, I did get one. Pretty excited for this. I think this will be 320. Did they throw that on the 320 card yet? Does anyone know? No, but looking at this is what I was talking about here on the 320 card under vehicles. They do have wheeled vehicle handling improvements. They don't go into, let's see here, updates and improvements to current ground vehicle movement parameters and simulation, allowing for more robust tuning and identity between various ground vehicles. This might include tracked vehicles, because tracked vehicles are technically wheeled vehicles in the most technical, turn of phrase, but they are also treaded vehicles, so they do act a little differently. But we could, if this is related to how it works with physics and all that stuff, we could see some pretty big changes to how vehicles handle. And then if you take into account the component changes that'll come along with things like the resource management, game plan stuff, like I've said 1,000 times before, the way ships fly now and the way vehicles drive is nowhere near where they will end up ultimately. So keep that in mind. All right, that's the Tumbrel Storm. I'm like I said, I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be a 320 vehicle, judging by the the development progress that's been made on it. So pretty excited about that. That would mean I have definitely 2 vehicles for the 320 batch cycle to look forward to. Let's move on to this. I wanted to talk a little bit about this with you all, get all of y'all's opinions. Inside Star Citizen this past week. By the way, everyone, real quick before I go into this, I should probably just say, first off, thanks everyone for hanging out a little bit today. Please give my Twitch channel a follow if you haven't, and also give the YouTube channel, the StarJump YouTube channel, a subscribe if you haven't, trying to boost those numbers up. Definitely on our YouTube channel, check out the latest episode of StarJump Shipyard, covered the Crucible. Pretty fascinating ship. I would love to get the numbers for that up though, so please share it amongst your friends and anyone who may be interested in that ship. I am processing a little bit how I want to move forward with Shipyard. I need to make sure I'm always balancing how many views the videos are getting by how much work is going into them, because they do cost me money to make. So, I need to balance that. And based off the trajectory for shipyard videos and views, I may need to rebalance maybe the video length and some other things. I think it's always good to self-audit. I think that's something every organization needs to do. Find out what's working, find out what's not working, and find out where to make fixes. So I may make some adjustments there. Dua over on YouTube says, what's your guess on the timeline for the Polaris first look and delivery? I think we'll see an updated look at the Polaris at IAE. And if I had to guess for delivery, if they're going to go from now all the way to flight ready, 2024 IAE at the soonest, probably end of next year. Yeah, and that would be at the soonest. That would be if they're like kicking ass on it right now. But anyways, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for hanging out. Those of you that want a poster, I did want to get on that real quick. For those of you that want a poster, let me switch over real quick. Hold on 1 second, everybody. For those of you that want posters, which I have all your names. Let's see here. We have Puma Hog, Malkiri, Christian, Rofus, Joe, Myark, DJ Wiley, and VG. For any of you that want posters, I have been processing those. There's a limit on how many I can process in one day because it has to do with how I process it, with it being a sample. It's considered a sample from our merch store, so I can get it at the lowest cost. And I can only process a certain number a day, but they are being processed. They are being sent out. Remember, if you're international, it takes about 4 weeks to get to you. If you're in the US, it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. I wish it didn't take so long, but that's the way drop shipping works. So appreciate the patience. I may give a poster away on this channel. Again, these come out of my own pocket. I do have to pay, I think it's about $17 a piece for these to get these printed. So I may do one today. All right, so let me hit play on this, and I don't know what Jared's doing right there, but they're going to talk about the Santucky Eye. What did everyone think of this ship? Yeah, no problem, Demon. I think the Santucky Eye looks pretty cool. I am not a big alien ship fan, although I am really into the Raylan, and I'm going to get the Raylan 100%. But they're showing some of the early animation tests here. I know that there was some mention of these animation tests were actually a little bit old. I think it was brought up by the person who originally designed the ship that they possibly were even the tests that were done back when this person worked there. I think that's okay. I mean, I think that's actually a good thing. The CIG feels confident in showing the older animations. That means they're trying to stick to what was promised for these ships, which is good, and not wholesale changing stuff. Hey, VM, hope you're well, buddy. VM says, saw some comments from the original concept artist that he thought the ship would never get implemented. Well, I think that's what a lot of people say about a lot of Star Citizen ships. But out of all the alien ships, I do think the Santucky Eye is one of the better looking ones. I put it up there with the Raylan in terms of just how good it looks. I'm not a big fan of the other ones, though. Well, actually, that's not a fair statement. I would put the Talons as really cool looking ships as well. But like the Cartu Wall and stuff like that, I've never really liked. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, it's a cool looking ship. And you can see how the thruster, let me go to some of that thruster tech is going to play nicely with some of the stuff they did on the Fury. So these thrusters are going to flip and all that stuff. They talked about that beforehand in relation to some thruster animation stuff they were testing out. So I think we're going to see that represented here. I'm guessing the Cartu Wall will get some of these changes as well. Quattrop says, I love the Prowler. Yeah, I like the Prowler. I wish the interior was different on the Prowler. I'm not a big fan of its interior. I know a lot of people really love it, though. So, There you go, though. I really like the look of this thing. I like ships that look like they're leaning into a forward direction, and the Santaki Eye versus a lot of the other alien ships does that. You can see some of that thruster manipulation here. Now, the Santaki Eye is a medium fighter, so it's not going to be as, like, you know, twitchy and stuff as the Fury, obviously. Okay, let's talk a little bit. Do they have any other visuals? Show it flying a little bit. I know I love the thruster effects. Have you seen the thruster effects right there? Oh, looks so cool. For those of you that have never seen my, oh, that's cool. I hadn't seen that before. For those of you that haven't seen my Aegis cinematic on YouTube, go check it out. I do have a scene with Santaki Eye in it. So it's cool. So when it rotates, the entire fuselage also rotates up, which is interesting. But I'm assuming that when that rotation occurs, the cockpit area probably doesn't alter. I imagine it stays mostly the same, so it counter rotates to the rotation of the fuselage. If you look at it here, yeah, it's hard to see because it's so dark, but I think that's what happens here. Yeah, that's cool. All right, next they asked John Crew all about the Hull C. Ship I'm very excited for. Do we have any Hull C fans in chat? There's our mighty Hull C, carrying what looked to be the new, actually, let me bump up the resolution here. I don't know why it's playing low res. Carrying the new 32 SCU boxes. Let's take a look at that. VM says Hull C hype. I agree. So yeah, you can see these are the new 32 SCU boxes. These did change a little bit. I know some people were saying the boxes on the raft, and I was saying this too, were the 32 SCU boxes, and I think those were the placeholder ones. These are the final one. I wouldn't be surprised if these boxes get added to the raft. Thruster animations are pretty static. They really need to work on VTOL. I like it, but I don't think I'll get one because I have someone who has the D and also a BMM. Makes sense. Yep. So they did confirm that Hull C carries 4,608 SCU. You can see one of the vehicle-based tractor beams here. It's actually got 4 of these, 2, one on top, one on bottom on the rear, and 2, one on top, one on bottom on the front of the ship. Check out those ship-mounted tractor beams. Wonder if they'll go back and mount those to other ships that are supposed to have them. So they said they would VM. They specifically talked about the Caterpillar will be getting its tractor beams, the Cuddy Black, the 315. Am I right on that? 315? I think they said the Nomad 315P. Thank you, Solomon. Yeah, 315P. But yeah, you can see those vehicle tractor beams now. Nice to see those in the game. That's really cool. Here's all of our struts, carrying our 2 primary struts, A and B strut, along with all that. Here we finally see the animation here working in its final form, and it collapsing down. The ship can collapse down to a folded and unfolded state. You can actually see that here. I think we have that in Fleet Viewer. Actually, do I have? Let me look at something here. Let's go down to Hull C real quick. I need to check if we have that. Okay, we only have it in the. Okay, so we only have it in the turned out version. Stormfire just cheer for 500 bits. Thank you so much, Stormfire. Really appreciate that. I hope you are well. Thank you for that cheer, and thanks for the support. Thank you so much. So yeah, here's the Hull C. There is a problem with our Fleet Viewer model, by the way, and you can kind of tell when I flip back to the Hull C here. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Stormfire. Thank you, man. So you'll notice the Hull C front fuselage cuts off right here. We have it extending Let me go back to it. We have extending past that endpoint, and the reason is that this piece here, where my mouse is at, this piece here is actually a separate piece and slides to the back with the rest of this and making the front fuselage shorter. If you're curious why I did not fix that for Fleet Viewer, is because I knew the hull C was coming and I didn't want to completely change this model. Oh, Stormfire, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate you. Just sent the Javelin overhead. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that support. Obviously, we're missing the vehicle-based tractor beams and stuff. We didn't know where a lot of that stuff would be mounted. But obviously, once the final model comes out, our good friend in chat, VMXEO, will export that along with. Well, we're gonna attempt. I don't want to speak for VM, but we're going to attempt to do a unfolded deployed version and a collapsed version. We may have to do it by hand, but that's what we're planning on doing. But yeah, John Crew described this ship as the semi truck, the big hauler of the verse. Obviously the hull D and E are bigger, but this is the most standard of the ships. VM, I know you'd love a good challenge, my friend. I have no doubt you're going to be able to nail it. One cool thing to note is they kept that door there, which is kind of cool, but they removed the walkway, which is interesting. It's almost like this just exit out into nothing. Although I guess it is basically just an EVA door. So I'd like to see what they do with that. This looks like a remote turret up here. Yeah, Stormfire. I love the design of the tractor beam as well. Phenom over on YouTube says, will they scrap the hull B? No, I don't think they'll scrap the hull B at all. That's still got a good place in the verse. The amount of cargo it carries, I think there's still a hole for that in Mist's lineup. Funculus says, if the tractor beams are fixed on emplacements on top, will the entire cargo rotate clockwise, counterclockwise? That's a good question. I don't know. Gronko, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Continuing to send the Javelin overhead. You are all amazing. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for that support. That's amazing. Gronko also redeemed stretch, which I do need to stretch, and I probably need to hydrate, so I'm going to do that. Hull A was a starter for the Hull A, and Hull C is a Squadron 42. Hull B is not. So the Hull B, though, has already been sold. So in a way, they have to deliver it now. So yes, we're still going to get the Hull D. I love the way the back of this looks, though. Again, I just really feel like some of the new MISC design stylings, and I know this isn't a new MISC ship, it's actually been built for a long time, but the way CIG is treating them and stuff, I just think look really, really good. Here we go. Let's take another look at it. There's another, okay, here we go. See, that's that panel I was talking about. See how that panel slides back? So the cool thing is this walkway here, this tube in the middle is a tube you can walk down. That's how big it is. You can see that here. And you'll actually see this tube here in just a minute stretch. And that stretching is when the hull C is deploying. See that right there? So it looks like it's got some sort of accordion sort of animation rigging. Let's see here. I love these angles they do in these focal lengths. This ship looks so big and epic. For those wondering, the hull C is about 125 meters long when deployed. For those of you that are curious about how long that is, that's close to an Anvil Carrack in length, which is exciting because we have not had a ship come out in this size class since the Carrack released, which I believe was 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Was it 2020, February 2020 that the Carrack came out? But that gives you an idea. It's been 3 years or so since we've had a ship that big come out, in that 125 size range. So it's kind of a big deal. It's another good accomplishment. So I'm happy to see that happening. Other ships in that size range are like the Nautilus. There's a few others that are in that 125 meter sort of range. So yeah, I think the Galaxy, a little shorter at the 110, but I would still put it in that category. These are considered the large ships. I'm not sure what the category is for large. I want to say it's VM might could correct me. I think the large ship category is, I want to say it's like 70 meters, maybe like 70 meters and up, 70 to like 150-ish. Dex over on Twitch says, do you think the whole sea will turn into pirate magnets? I could see pirates being very excited to see the whole sea. Yeah, so I think it will. However, I think that, oh, actually, real quick, before I get to that, Funiculus, your question about the tractor beams, if you look at this, the cargo for the back tractor, the back array will be on the back side, and the front array will be on the front side. So the tractor beams on the back will handle this spindle, and the tractor beams on the front will handle that spindle. You can actually see both of them here on the front. We got a little one there and one down here. So they'll be able to get full coverage on all this. Before, if you look at this, before the cargo is all kept on the front of the spindles. So it's on the front here, it's on the front here. But it looks like CIG did change that. So now the cargo will be held on the back of this rear spindle and on the front of the front spindle. I never noticed that before, so that's pretty interesting. That'll make for a lot easier loading and unloading, because I was always concerned about how are you going to get these boxes in these little tight areas here. You know, when your other spindle is deployed. So it's interesting to see that they took that into account. Stand by, everyone. Opening up another window. Okay. So yeah, that's very interesting. Obviously, the Hull C cannot land with its cargo spindles deployed. You see that here. The spindles go well below the landing gears. That's been known for a long time. You're going to need to be fully collapsed in order to land the Hull C planet side. However, I see the Hull C primarily operating between space stations. You know, that's what those cargo decks are supposed to be all about. Funiculus, I wonder how they'll handle it for bigger ships with more than 2 arms. That's an interesting thing to think about. You know, with and Dex, I'm going to get to your question in just a minute, buddy. If I bring up the Hull D, though, I wonder if the Hull D, they're going to go with these more open arms. So see how here they've got like a grav plate panel on the outside, but they've just got an interior spindle arm, and the cargo is on all sides of it. I don't know if they're going to do this. I don't know if they're going to do this. We'll have to see, to be honest with you. Whereas these have got 2 boxes on each row, I think it'll be just one of these 32 SCU containers. So that's 4,000. I'd have to do the math on this. But Dex says, do you think the Hull C will turn into pirate magnets? To some degree I do, but I think that's intended. I mean, I think pirate gameplay is a real thing, and we need to have targets for the pirates. What I think this will encourage, though, is encourage you to link up with your friends and get them to fly their fighters. So here's a good example. I know several people that are big into combat and Star Citizen. I'm not, but, you know, whatever. More power to them, I guess. But there's plenty of people that like combat. And before, you really couldn't carry enough cargo to adequately pay those people and still make a handsome profit. I think the Hull C, we're going to see that balance shift. I think we're going to see the ability for ships to carry so much cargo, and that they have so much earning potential that you can easily break off 200 or even 300,000 AUEC to a fighter pilot to fly in his combat ship with you and protect you. Possibly even more. I remember, we have not seen anything like this in terms of cargo hauling. What's our biggest current cargo capacity on a ship? 600 something? I think 600 SCU or something like that. This thing can carry 4 1,600 SCU. I think this thing is like 9 caterpillars. I forget the exact math, but I think it's like 9 caterpillars worth of cargo. Let's see here. So I think we're going to see. I think we are going to see more cargo produced at stations. But if you look at what they have scheduled for Inside Star Citizen this week, Inside Star Citizen is going to be about missions for 320. I think they're going to talk about cargo missions for the Hull C. I do think they're going to talk about that. Shady Face says you can see the 3 tractor beams in that image. Yes, and Shady, there's actually another one under here. You just can barely see it. It's right there where my mouse is currently moving. So probably hard to see in the video, but it's right there. So there's 4 tractor beams. Stormfire says, Grim, do you remember if the Hull C, D, and E have drones? To my knowledge, they do not have drones. I don't believe they have drones. To the best of my knowledge, they don't. Someone, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they do not have drones. So, Dex says Hull C is clearly meant to change the cargo game. Yeah, actually, absolutely. I mean, the okay, Loud Gun says 696. Okay, so 696, 690 roughly. That's our biggest cargo capacity right now. That's about to get just absolutely dwarfed. So you may have seen some content creators talk about how the Hull C is going to break the economy. Yes, it needs to break the economy. We need to start thinking about Star Citizen in bigger, in a bigger way in terms of the economy and how goods and services are moved, money, all that kind of stuff. And the Hull C, I think, is going to be the first ship to upset that balance, which is exactly what we need. Kusanagi. Hey, Admiral Kusanagi. Hope you're well. Salute to you. It's been a while since I've talked to you. This is just going station to station or station to Orson and back and forth. They have a huge cargo infrastructure, 60 km or so from the main area. Yeah. So I think what we're going to see is those cargo decks come online. Remember those things that have been built in all the space stations? I think we're going to see those take a bigger impact on our general shipping lives. So, the Midgard says, wasn't there a military variant of the Hull C? I don't believe so. I don't remember ever hearing that. Funicula says, has there been any talk of cargo warehousing for players' use, such as we pick up smaller stocks of supplies and fly them to one station where we load them to our Hull Cs from one unified warehouse? Not yet, Funiculus. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But remember, we have persistent hangars coming. And we may be able to do that with persistent hangars, because I think one of the big holdups for persistent hangars was cargo elevators, which they just teased recently. So I think we will see that, but I think it'll be from our persistent hangars. North End Trooper says, Grim, do we have an idea of what ships the Hull C will be a loaner for? I don't think so, but I have to say, if you have a Hull D and E, I'm pretty confident you'll get a Hull C. It wouldn't shock me if you own a BMM, if you get a Hull C as a loaner. That wouldn't shock me as well, because the BMM can carry 2,300 something or 2,700 SCU of cargo. I forget how much it is. Sorry, I'm looking at 2 different chats here, everyone, because Restream is being a little weird today on pickup. Let's see. McZocker, hello from Germany. Hello to you as well. I hope you are well. Hope things in Germany are great right now. I actually just talked to one of my doctors who's German, and they always tell me a little bit about Germany. Demon says the Hull D is used by the UEE according to lore. Yeah, makes sense. Large-scale cargo ship. Sten says the military uses the D, but that doesn't mean it's a particular variant. Yeah, I think Sten makes a great point. The D is just because the military uses it doesn't mean it's a specific variant. I can tell you right now, the military also uses it. Like the U.S. military also uses standard civilian semi-trucks, for example. I know because my uncle owned a semi-truck trailer that the military contracted. So semi-trucks were being used for military purposes. In addition to that, the military actually contracts out merchant marine ships the Navy does actually, to ship large-scale assets to staging areas across, the world. For those that don't know, the Navy and other branches have essentially staging areas all over the world so they can react to conflicts as quick as possible. The Navy has several spread all over, and they use a an absolutely massive merchant marine fleet to take care of that and bring all those assets to those staging areas. So not all equipment and stuff, but a lot of stuff they move by merchant marine. There's actually a really great documentary on that too. You should watch it, where they talk about how the Navy uses logistics and stuff with merchant marine fleets to do all that. So everyone, don't forget, if you haven't followed my Twitch channel yet, please give the Twitch channel a follow. If you haven't followed the YouTube channel, please give the YouTube channel a follow. I will go ahead on Twitch and pepper those in there. Please give our Twitter a follow as well. I'm only 2 away from 2,000 followers over there, so that's really great. Obviously, if you are on YouTube, let's see here. Please go over. If you're on YouTube, go give the Twitch channel a follow. We're trying to boost the presence, obviously, of all of our channels. Support what we do. Obviously, we have STARJUMP Fleet Viewer. Please go check that out if you haven't already as well. Got some more projects in the hopper. There's been some talk going on about them, trying to get all the players in place for them. I know there's a big project me and Ender are wanting to work on. Don't want to full bore start it until we're confident all the pieces are in place to accomplish it. But again, there's some really cool STARJUMP stuff being planned. So let's see here. Let me look at chat again here. Demon says the whole D also has 2 capital quantum tanks instead of only 1 on the whole C or E. Whoa, thank you for that follow, Demon. Thank you so much. Salute to you. Really appreciate that. Thank you for that support. That's amazing. Demon also just subscribed. Awesome. I think we'll get the Kraken flying overhead. There's the Kraken flying overhead. Thank you so much, Demon. We haven't had the Kraken fly overhead in a while, so thanks for doing that. Appreciate it. Big salute, double salute for you. Thank you for that. Kusunaga says the military uses modified D as part of their supply chain, arming them, refueling soldiers on the front line. Exactly. And someone was just talking about the quantum fuel tanks with the whole D, E, and C. Just remember that the whole D and E will probably get reconcepted to a large degree, and a lot of that could change. So, yes, thank you so much, Demon. You are a legend. Thank you so much. All right. Let's finish this out here while I'm on my lunch break. Yeah, Solomon, I think you will. So the way you're going to be able to handle the whole C at first for 320 is you are going to buy your stuff here. Scrap here, they were able to load, what is that? 430,000 of scrap. Wow, that's crazy. So you buy the scrap, and it's not going to load it while it's in your hangar. You're going to need to take back off if you're in a hangar. Okay, once you've taken back off, you will deploy your cargo spindles as seen here. You will then redial up ATC. And when you redial ATC, they will already know you've purchased the cargo, so you'll get a cargo transfer request option, at which point it will load the 32 SCU boxes. Now, obviously, in the future, I think that's going to change. It'll be all manual. Oh, thank you so much, Nottingham, for that follow, sending the javelin over once again. Look at all these amazing people in chat today. I really can't thank you enough. Big salute to you. They did confirm here that the whole C will be able to dock. Space station docking, so that's cool. I didn't know if it was going to be able to do that or not, but it makes sense with the type of ship it is. So obviously you can expect the hull D and hull E to take the same approach, but I think that's really, really cool. I'm glad they did that. I was a little unsure if they were going to do that because I'm still a little confused on, let me go, where's that? Stand by, let me find that piece of video here. Yeah, right here. The Hull C uses that circular airlock, but that station airlock, which is the octagonal or hexagonal one, I guess it can mate with the circular ones, which is cool. The only thing I hope they do is they show these 32 SEU cargo containers as just generic. Previously, they had showed them as having branding on them, which I really hope they go back to. I kind of love that, like, you know, some of the boxes might have actual in-game brands on them. I just think that brings a level of realism and stuff to this. So I really hope they do that. The ship doesn't look docked. I think it just, you have to be near it. Maybe you do have to dock, though. I'm not really sure. It's a good question. Maybe so. Maybe you do have to dock. But it's just going to be really cool to see this thing finally in the verse. It's been a long time coming, and I know for a lot of people it's kind of a big milestone for this thing to get past the finish line. Nottingham, first time chatter. Thank you for that follow earlier. Nottingham asked, would the Mirai Fury clamp on its cargo bay for protection? So the way that's going to work, that's a great question. We're going to back up here. So what's been described is that the for the whole D and E, I think there's going to be a cargo chassis. Think of it as like just a rectangle chassis kind of skeleton. And you're going to be able to transport ships within that cargo chassis. And then the cargo chassis actually connects to the cargo grid. I think that's how they're going to do it. But I think they've only said that for the D and E. I could be wrong. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Demon, first time chatter on Twitch, but was over on YouTube, says that would be absolutely cool, but the pilot would need to stay in the cockpit all day. Yeah. So yes, I think that's how it's going to work, Nottingham. I think it'll be a cargo chassis. So I think you will be, if you choose your Hull C, let's say you choose a Hull C and from the ASOP terminal, and you want to transport a couple of your ships with it, you'll be able to do it through the ASOP terminal, but it will put that ship in a chassis. The question is, how are we going to be able to do that for other people's ships? I hope CIG gives us a way to do that through our persistent hangars, some sort of low, or maybe our cargo decks. Hopefully there's some sort of synergy there that allows us to do those functions. Just one second. Stand by, everybody. Okay. Sorry, I had a work message come in. So yeah, I think that's how it's going to work. You need to place for the MPUV or SRV to help move boxes. Also true. I am starting to wonder though how useful the SRV is going to be for this with its tractor beam in the rear. It's something VMXE was bringing up to me, and the more I got to thinking about it, the more I was thinking that could be an issue. That could really be an issue. But yeah, I mean, what they're saying here is that the Hull C is well on its way. It's labeled for 320, so we're going to be getting this in our hands soon, third quarter. You can see the bridge here. I love the center seat bridges where you got the kind of the captain's seat and then the pilot, co-pilot seat. I love that arrangement. Everything looks great though from a cockpit standpoint. It's got a lot of these pass-through windows, which is really great. I love that on the Carrack, and I think it works really well here. I really dig this style of MISC interior, though, and it has me excited for larger MISC ships like the Odyssey and stuff like that. Stormfire says, look at the docking hatch and you'll see an oval outline, which should make it compatible to station docking. Yeah, I did notice that, Stormfire. I did notice that oval. Funiculus, there has not been any talk of the SRV making it into 320. Not yet, but supposedly it's done. But I think it's waiting specifically on ship tractor beams. However, if the tractor beams on the Hull C are functionable, then technically the SRV could come out. You actually see that here. So cargo ops, this is a cargo ops room. This is a tractor beam room. So if you see him sit, that is the tractor beam they're interacting with now. There's nothing indicating that it's a tractor beam, but there's also nothing indicates the guns. But you see he's turning it over to this floating cargo as if he was going to grab it. Now, they didn't show that, and I think that's because we're going to get a specific, a specific Inside Star Citizen for that. Engineering looks really cool on this. Love it. The rear looks like it's 3 decks. Looks like there's 3 decks. 1, 2, and 3 for the rear. So I think the back side of the Hull C will be 3 decks. I love the engines. I love all this. I love the industrial look, but it's like high-tech industrial. I did notice something kind of weird right here. It's almost like the door clips through the component. See how it clips through that component? So I'm not sure how old this is, but you can see the handle of the door clips through the component. That's something they've probably got to fix. But yeah, that was Inside Star Citizen. Werner, hello, salute to you. Hope you're well. Thanks for hanging out with us a little bit today. We're going to be wrapping it up soon, but I really appreciate everyone hanging out with me today. So right now for 320, we just have the MISC Hull C and wheeled vehicle improvements. But if I had to guess, I think we're going to get SRV. Sorry, everybody. I think we're going to get the SRV added to this, as well as I know VMXEO, if you're still in chat, I know that we were talking about tractor beam attachment for the MPUV, and I could see that being a thing that gets added, tractor beam attachment for the MPUV, because I could see those being very important for the Hull C. But as we saw, they showed Hull C loading being automatic for 320, so they may not be, that may be an indication that vehicle tractor beams still aren't ready yet. We'll see. We'll see. Midgards, the Starfarer is going to get a rework. We just don't know when. Karsten, and sorry everybody if I miss a chat. I got 2 separate chats going today. I apologize. Karsten over on YouTube says, do you think we'll get the alien ship that did not make it for Alien Week anytime soon? I don't know. I heard a lot of rumors about it, but I am not really sure, Karsten. And I'm not sure exactly why they held off, to be totally honest with you. Maybe they already know they're going to deprioritize that ship. Yeah, Shady Phase, I think the SRV is going to be an end-of-year ship. I said it was going to be an Invictus or Citizen, an IAE or CitizenCon ship. It sort of starts to look like it's going to line up with that. VM says, someone did fan MPUV, a concept with a tractor beam, and could accommodate. Yeah, was that a fan concept, VM? I thought that was an actual piece of art. Was that just fan? I know you would know, so. But yeah, I mean, look, the 320 card is still pretty light. Now, it does have a ton of Arena Commander stuff. But I think we're going to see this fill out with a lot of other stuff, just general PU stuff. So everyone just stay tuned. I think we're going to get some big roadmap updates for this pretty soon. Some cool things they're adding, though, like the new ship trespass system. That's going to be really cool. Specifically, I think that relates to ships like the Hull C. G-Sharp says, which new alien ship? The one in Progress Tracker has a lot of work remaining. So I think they're talking about this, like, what was it called? Sulian or something. It sounded like it was made by Gatak, because it had a name very similar to Raylan, but it was like Sulian or something like that. And people were thinking that it was a new alien ship. We're not 100% sure, though. Tractor beam itself was previously leaked, I believe. Yeah, I think so, VM. I think so. Sulian. Thank you, Solomon. Appreciate it. So, yeah. 320 card. I think we'll see this get filled out. I mean, again, they got some cool stuff on it. Ship Trespass. They already talk about new missions like Retrieve Consignment. We'll probably hear a little bit about that on ISC this week. I personally hope ISC is all about large-scale cargo missions for the Hull C. That's what I want to hear about. We need a reason for why the Hull C is going to be in the verse at all. Bunch of Arena Commander stuff. If you're an Arena Commander fan, that's all going in. If you're just a PU fan and have never been interested in Arena Commander, you should at least take note of it, because as they explained in that ISC, the Arena Commander is going to be how you test things like combat and FPS and test your ships and stuff without incurring the wrath of Death of a Spaceman and inching towards permadeath. So Arena Commander will have an important role. Obviously, they've got the Hull C labeled for the 320 branch. Pretty exciting. And then the wheel vehicle improvements that we talked about earlier. In terms of other ships, let's go down. We got the 3 ships team now. EU, Montreal, and US. Obviously, the Crusader Spirits are trudging along. They have work all the way to December now. I don't know if that means we're going to get some of them earlier, or if they're all going to come out at one time, but it's starting to look like that the Spirits could be a next year ship, unless they decide to put out the A1 a little sooner. Polaris, obviously trudging away. Its work got extended to December. December is just when the progress tracker ends, though. The work most likely goes way past this. This is just all that's visible in the progress tracker. But the fact that work got added to the Polaris is a good sign. Again, it means that, and I generally do feel the Polaris is in active production. I don't think it's going to get shelved or anything. Yeah, Melchior, it could be that they're separate. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Obviously, Squadron 42 vehicle support, that's always ongoing. There's an unannounced ship that's had 34 weeks of work. To give you an idea, the Spirits, I forget how much the Spirits had in work. 63 weeks, but that's 3 ships. So this is a pretty substantial ship, whatever this is down here. Vehicle tractor beams are on the ship teams because they're going to implement them on there. Looks like they've already done their work. I imagine this was for those ships that were previously noted. The Montreal team is working on 2 unannounced ships, with one later in the year. And the U.S. team is obviously hard at work on the Santaki I, as well as they have the Origin X1s coming up, and they're finishing work on the Tumbrel Storm. Looks like they've been the one overhauling the Vandal fleet for Squadron 42, but remember, that is for the PU as well, so I think once Squadron 42 comes out, we will get those updated Vandal ships in the verse, so that'll be pretty exciting if you own a Vandal ship. So, all right, everyone, that's going to be mostly about it. Again, just wanted to do a quick lunch break stream. I hope you all stay well. Thank you for all the follows. If you haven't followed, please give me my Twitch a follow, and please give the YouTube a subscribe. I really appreciate it. Please give the Twitter a follow. I am altering my streaming schedule moving forward. I've been talking to my wife, figuring out when the best days for me to stream are. So more info on that soon. Oh, Daedalus sending the javelin overhead. Thank you so much. Big salute to you. Thank you for that follow. But I will get back to you all on streaming schedule. I know I'll be streaming about 2 to 3 times a week, but I might have some flex days in there. Some daytimes, some nighttime streams, just sort of depends. But hopefully you'll all bear with me and hang out with me. I'll be doing some Star Citizen. We'll be playing some Scum. For any of you in chat that are interested in playing Scum, it's a very detail-oriented game like Star Citizen, survival game. Myself and Ender have a server. If you just go onto Scum and go to multiplayer and search for Ravage, R-A-V-A-G-E, Ravage, in the search list and hit refresh, it'll pop up. Ours says Ravage Survival RP or something like that. Join our server. We're on there almost every night, and we just started the server, so we're still getting some balancing in check. But join us there, and you can play Scum with us. We're going to make a big push with that. I think we're going to have some other people join. Arturus is probably going to join up with us. But if you've never played Scum, you may really enjoy it. It's got a lot of the detail-oriented stuff that Star Citizen has in it. That kind of minutia gameplay stuff. So yeah, give Scum a check out if you haven't. They run deals on it on Steam all the time. It is technically an early access game, but you should definitely check it out. Kusanagi, yep, Kusanagi's played with us before. We've had servers, ended servers. We've been all over the place with it, but we're going to make a big push with this server. So look for Ravage on the on this Scum server list and join it. I'd love to see you out there. Everyone else, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you all stay well. I'm going to see if there's anyone I can raid at the moment. Stand by. We're gonna check. Stand by. I will probably give away some posters later this week. So stay tuned for future streams, and I might just blast you with some more poster giveaways. I know we gave away some before I left on vacation, and I would like to give away a lot more. So let me see here. Stand by. I'm finding someone to raid. Stand by. We're going to try to raid this person. Angry PC Tech. Give them some StarJump love. Say hello for me. The rest of you, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I will be streaming later this week and hope to see you out. We'll do a poster giveaway. For those of you that did not win any poster on the last time I did a giveaway, this will be your chance. I'll probably do another 5. I'll have to see how money is, but let me see what I can do. And I'll see you all then. Everyone say hello to Angry PC Tech. Everyone on YouTube, salute to you. Stay well, and I'll talk to you all soon.